I have concluded that if I seek exemption, I am just going to be ridiculed and bullied more than at present. This, if you don't, you are evil thing is getting to me. I have opted to make my own buff type thing that will cover my face, but it's not a mask. I have no idea how I will cope. I am hoping I will do better than in a mask with the attendant panic attack. This is a long-standing issue for me too. For example, my hypersensitivities mean I don't wear necklaces, scarves, some necklines and, hardly ever anyway, makeup. Sun cream is a struggle. I do wear sun cream because I recognise it's a necessity, but ugh. Masks, however, continue to cause difficulties despite making many for others. It's not lack of good faith, it's a genuine issue. But I recognise the public health benefits, so as much as I'm loath to draw attention to myself in public, there really doesn't seem to be an alternative at the moment. Fortunately, I do not shop for fun. Isn't it odd how we all have different things? I hate sun cream as well, and lucky for me I'm one of those people who does not need it. But I can and do wear scarves most of the time, and polo necks, albeit mostly to try and hide my double chin that I hate and loathe and detest and abhor, and yeah, you get it. I've given up on necklaces, etc., other than for special events when I become a different me and I can tolerate them for a few hours. I used to wear them, but for some reason now they really annoy me. Likewise, my watch is no longer on my wrist or even with a battery. I hate tight tops and nylon. Actually, almost all material but cotton against my skin, but I'm okay with acrylic knitted things. No logic at all. And we've not even touched on the horror that this spaghetti and that ribbon pasta stuff. Shopping for fun might happen in a really good bookshop or music shop if I am lucky enough to have money. So once in every millennium it is, or so. Putting aside the oh shit for a moment, it's an interesting illustration of the social model of disability. Ain't it just? I haven't been seriously questioned about the fact that I'm not wearing a mask, even though the rules have come into effect around here. I am hoping my worry about it is going to be greater than the actual effect. The worry about it might stop me doing stuff though. Presume you're up here. I'm weird. I'm phobic about masks and terrified of people wearing them. Struggling a bit now just to try to think a way out of this mess. Yep, Perth and Kinross. I'm looking at most masks. Haven't seen a couple of skin-coloured ones that will make a person look as though they have no mouth, which was very disconcerting. I'll guile myself. I can look at children's animal ones and the like, but the ones being worn now are awful. And as for the ones used for BiPAP and the like, no way. I too am firmly in the medical exemption camp. I start having a meltdown, overheating and hyperventilating. Not great. No, it is a concern. If you're exempt from wearing them, that's fine, love. Yes, it is fine. However, it makes me visible in a way and in places where I might not choose to be. In fact, try very hard not to be. I might be openly autistic here on Facebook behind screens. In the big wide world, there's a load of masking and faking going on to navigate the world more easily. And if anyone knows me personally and has not observed this, that's because I'm good at it. I am not, however, remotely concerned about being fined or of police involvement. As you say, the exemption will or should hold. Not that I am anti-mask, I know it is for the greater good. Merely that it puts me in an extremely uncomfortable place, such as, and it's okay to feel apprehensive. But how will anyone know you're autistic or just choosing not to wear one, as a lot of people choose not to do? Yes, but as wearing a mask in shops is now compulsory, shops will, I assume, be able to refuse you entry for not wearing one. And while I don't much like shopping and am skint anyway, groceries etc. are somewhat of a necessity. So ostensibly I could be challenged on entry at any point going round the shop by staff. It is unlikely this will happen, at which point I will have to say I have a medical exemption. Then there may be further questions. Of course, I'm not required to discuss my specific diagnosis, but they might not be accepted by whoever is challenging. There may be unpleasantness. Then there may be stares, tuts, mutterings, and perhaps challenges from members of the public, some of which are, pardon the language, sanctimonious and would do this. No, I don't need to go around with a placard saying I am autistic, but my ability to wear a mask even before I have said anything marks me out in situations where I try very hard to be invisible, like shops. It is okay to feel apprehensive of what could happen. I am also aware that there could be no repercussions whatsoever. We'll have to see how it pans out, but it is okay to feel apprehensive, and I do. Absolutely 100%, you'll be fine, love, and absolutely it's okay to feel apprehensive, but you'll be fine, I'm telling you. I never realised that me not wearing jewellery was a hypersensitivity. That's really interesting. I don't do makeup either. I don't do some necklines too. I'm worried about wearing a mask, but only as I'm struggling to breathe lately as my asthma has flared up with summer. It may be in your case. I really struggle with things around my wrists too. Bracelets, wristbands, watches and many cuffs are out and out for any longer than a short period. I have 3 tops at present that I cannot wear until I have altered the sleeves to remove the cuffs. It was a nightmare in school. Constantly being ticked off for uniform irregularities, I would mostly wear short sleeve shirts all year round. Not allowed, but the jumper and blazer hid the absence of cuffs. I was okay with jumper cuffs as I pulled them down to cover my hands. The tie was torture. I learned to tie it very loosely and to get shirts with a neck too large, and frequently, daily, I'd just remove it until I was told off. But still, I hated recalling that awful, slimy, shuddery feeling. Ugh, I hated school uniform. Shuddering muchly now, knows how many years later. I think this is Oscar's problem too. He can't wear clothes too tight to his neck. He says they're too tight when they aren't that near to his neck at all. School uniform in general is like being mummified. Oscar's words, not mine. At least with homeschooling you wear whatever you want. About to buy Kay's first high school uniform. Not looking forward to trying to desensitise him to the blazer shirt tie combo. Unless he has allergies, I find it useful to use loads of fabric softener on the shirts, rub into the collars etc, as well as putting in the drawer. Thanks for the tip. I can't have anything round my neck, head or wrists. Trying to explain that to people is like banging your head against a brick wall. I remember my mum making me wear a polo neck to school and screaming at me if I made a fuss. Have you tried taking a bandana or the like and wear it like cowboys do in the movies? Your nose and mouth are covered, but you're not constrained by a mask. I've even seen pictures of people using sanitary napkins to cover mouth and nose. Be creative. Have you seen the pictures of Johnny Depp in his bandana? Totally cool. Could you use a face shield like this one? They're very comfy. I have a more robust one now, which makes me look like Darth Vader or possibly a welder. But these are cheap and very comfortable to wear. Obviously I have a mask on, but when I'm not with patients, I just wear the shield. He hasn't set foot in a shop since the start of March. We've worked so hard over the years on his sensory issues, but never felt the need to work on this one. I just don't think I'd even try and take him into a shop until this is all over. Tricky, isn't it? I hope the boys are doing well. They really are, thank you, and C has been amazing throughout all of this chaos. I'm probably at fault here for not planning ahead and realising we needed to get him prepared and willing to make a mask. But as mistakes go, at least this is manageable. I dread to think how adults with these difficulties will manage, though, because COVID seems to be bringing out the dickheads at an astonishing pace. Have you seen these facial coverings? Link. I find they trigger my hay fever allergies, so I'm going to make some cloth ones and see if they're any better, thinking maybe fibres from the disposable ones are the problem. There's a link in there to cards you can print out to show people, or shove it in their ear holes if you prefer. Yes, the exemption cards look excellent, and I shall probably ask Mum to print some for and I. This isn't what's bothering me though. The thing that is bothering me is feeling very, very visible at times when I generally try very hard to be the opposite. That isn't to say I'm not grateful to the people offering excellent ways to manage my situations that arise. I am, thank you. I don't really know you, but I always get the impression that you are a strong person. As my father would say, don't let the buggers grind you down. I try to ignore them, and so far no one has seriously queried it. I do have the Thistle Card app. I sense a lot of autistics would be too scared of bullying and judgmental stares to go out even more than we usually have to put up with.